I've been here for my 3 little girls. I love this business.
Go to freedom81.com. Get out of the rat race and start earning great money as soon as next week.
I was skeptical. However, I had to get out of corporate America. Both me and my wife were able to quit our jobs to now make over $10,000 a month from home.
Go to freedom81.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom81.com. freedom81.com, and start earning great money as soon as next week.
Live across America, what's cooking today, Eric and Jack? There's a new book out called College in a Nutskull. I got to tell you, this is a crash course in higher education. And we've got with us an author who is a professor, and he's taken some information from, I guess, from term papers, actual answers to questions that are really strange. And his name is, he's here right now with us. His name is
Anders Henriksson.
Anders Henriksson. I'm sorry, I couldn't find the name.
It takes another Swede to identify.
Sorry, Anders. I'm sorry.
No, thanks. I'm glad to be with you.
Well, it's great to be with you. Now, you're a professor, is that right?
Yes.
Are you an absent-minded professor?
Oh, my wife would tell you that, yes.
Okay.
Now, Anders, I mean, you've been teaching for a long time, and you have seen just a number of the weirdest answers on tests. And is that kind of what this book is all about?
Yeah, what it is, it's a collection of weird things, really creative things, that college students have written under desperation, I think, either on exam blue books or on term papers. And I would add that they're not just my students, because if they were, I'd be worried about me. But I have a network of friends and colleagues across the country and beyond the U.S. Who supply me with their harvest of student gems, too. And what I did was I compiled them all, sorted them by academic discipline, and produced this book.
That's really cool. Now, we're kind of reading through the short bio of the book and kind of about the story of you and stuff. And one of the funny things is these are real answers. These are like college tests. These kids are racking their brains to try to get these answers right. And some of these answers, like one of them I saw was that for psychology, most people are either straight, gay, or thespian. I mean, come on, these guys. I mean, these are college-educated kids. Now, I mean, is this supposed to be poking fun at these kids, or is it supposed to kind of enlighten us to what our kids are really doing in college?
Well, I really wrote the book because I think these things are funny, and I would stress that yes, there's a lot of students who come in to college and they're not as prepared as they should be, and it's a problem. But students have always done this, and some of this material is 40 years old. Some's from the 1970s. That's the parents of the current kids. So I wrote it because it's funny, and it's not intended as a sort of clarion call for panic. And many of the students, and I can remember, these are harvested from tens of thousands of exams, and most of them are a lot better than this.
That is so funny. Cubism is art from Cuba, by the way, everybody in the listening audience. In case you were wondering, the college education that you'll get from this book, College in a Nutskull, not something you could probably pass an SAT with, but definitely something you can get a laugh out of your friends from.
That's what the intention is,
Yeah, absolutely. So now, Anders, how can we get a hold of the book?
Well, it's available in bookstores everywhere. It's available on all the commercial websites that people order books on. You can also order it by going to the publisher's website, which is workman.com.
Okay, and have you got any favorite answers that you got?
Yeah, what are your favorites?
What are your favorites?
Well, I think my absolute number one is California was settled first by the Chinese, a fact that explains names like Los Angeles.
Oh, there you go. Of course, the Chinese.
Yeah, absolutely. Other names like San Francisco, clearly Chinese.
Absolutely, yeah. You would have thought.
Pontius Pilate was an official in the Roman Air Force.
Of course, being a pilot, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, and it was spelled P-I-L-O-T. We had a president in the 1950s whose name was Dwayne D. Eisenhower.
Oh, Eisenhower. That's right. I remember now.
Yeah.
He was the 43rd.
That's right.
I think so. Well, 43rd and a half. Yeah.
43rd and a half.
Fascism is where your social life is totally on Facebook.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, yeah, I get that. That must be one of the newer ones, I guess.
That is so today, isn't it? Yeah.
That's right. So, I mean, actually, though, Anders, I mean, that's interesting you bring that up because, looking at some of these answers, you can kind of get an idea of maybe when these were, when these answers were kind of posted. I mean, the fact that the fascism was a Facebook thing is very contemporary, but, other ones could be a little bit more reminiscent of days gone by.
Yeah, well, one of my favorites is from the 70s, and it's Gershwin's opera, Porky is Best.
Oh, that's
Barney's bed.
yeah, they're very good.
That was a
very good.
Warner Brothers cartoon, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's very good. Yeah.
Wow.
Plato did his thinking in the cave of Al Gore. That's very good. The allegory of the cave. Very, very good. Very good. So I mean, this is good, Anders. I mean, this is really funny. And I think probably for any parent who has a kid going into college, this kind of would be a kind of a good gag gift for them.
I think so.
Yeah, this is awesome. So once again, Anders, the website and how we can keep up with you, buddy.
Right. Okay, it's workman.com.
And Anders, before I let you go, remember one thing: socialism is like when you go out with your friends.
Oh,
I always
socialism.
keep that in mind.
Yes,
That's right.
very good. Anders, thank you so much for joining us, buddy.
Thanks, good luck.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
My pleasure.
Hey, interesting. You know, I didn't learn half of these facts in college, Jack.
No.
You know, the Bach's
But I
sacred
got to
choral
tell you
music.
that a couple of term papers that I had to come up with creative answers, and they weren't like this, but they're pretty close to these.
Did you ever get caught cheating in
yeah.
school?
Oh,
Really,
yeah.
cheating on tests or anything like that?
Well, my buddy, we used to supply each other with answers.
Oh, did you really? You guys had a whole racket going on.
We not really. I think everybody did. I think every guy, a person that says they actually did it on their own is not telling the truth.
Well, I'll tell you like this. I did it on my own 99% of the time. It was the 1% that blew it for me.
Really?
I was really obsessed. I had this history class in college. It was like history of the Americas, and it was Latin American history, everything else, all kind of tied into one. And I was obsessed about this class. I mean, I was like a straight A student in this class. Of all the classes, this was the one I was really, I don't know what it was about this class. I got stuck to it. And the final came around, and I was so jazzed and I was so ready for this final, and I got everything. The entire final was completed. I finished the final. I felt confident, except for there was one word in my essay, in my like 2,000 word essay. There was one word that I didn't know what the word was. I forgot what the word was, right? Okay. And my teacher steps out of the room for like, I don't know, a minute, and I'm thinking I'm just going to peek in my notes real quick and get that word. No.
Get caught?
Busted.
Busted.
Not only was I busted, they had me go talk to the dean of admissions, explain my story. They threatened to kick me out of school because of this. And mind you, I was a straight A student. I wasn't like a habitual cheater in class. So it was literally one word. Mestizo was the word, Jack Roberts. Mestizo. Okay.
You never forgot it, though.
I've never forgot it
Never
since
forgot
then.
it now.
But I'll tell you, and I had to apologize in front of the class. I had to retake the test. And mind you, it was so embarrassing. I learned my lesson. If you ever get caught cheating, boy, it is the most embarrassing thing ever.
I've got to amend my answer. I didn't really cheat. I did Cliff Notes a lot.
Oh, the Cliff Notes. Yeah,
lot,
those little yellow. It looks like
That's
an
right,
emergency pamphlet. It's like yellow and black.
Because the paper would be due tomorrow morning, and I finally get to it like 3 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah, and I always felt bad for those kids that really had to, like, they would cram for weeks before the test. I never did that. I was like the guy who would study like 2 days before the test, and then like pretty much do good, except for Mestizo.
But you remember it.
I remember it now. Too late. Too little, too late.
What's cooking today with Jack and Eric and Jack? Mr. Pop Culture America is on the way. We're talking about Westerns. We're also going to talk about the origin of a very popular song. I didn't even know this guy recorded it, but we'll find out about it. It's The Yellow Rose of Texas. It's coming up. And we're going to talk about your favorite Western. Up next, right here.
There actually might be some mestizos in your favorite Westerns, as a matter of fact.
I think there probably is one or two, but I don't mention them.
Okay, very good. We'll be back right after this.